Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Reels and Rhythms brought to you by Carry On Friends in partnership with Style and Vibes and Breadfruit Media. And as you know, Reels and Rhythms, we bring you commentary, reviews, and perspective to what's going on in the world of TV, film, and concert with plenty of vibes, as only Michaela and I can. And this is all through the lens of Caribbean culture, Caribbean American, immigrant, and first generation experiences. What you saying, Michaela? This is take two. We have to make the people
Actually,
them know.
tree, come me did freeze up to
Take three.
tree. So yes, we were kind of having this banter before and around not seeing the movie
Yeah.
first. So I
Wait,
think
we have to back up first.
the
So
Afri
what we're
back up.
talking about is the One Love movie
Yes.
and not the Bob Marley 2024 One Love movie, but the 2003 One Love movie with Kimani Marley. And this is our first time watching it. Even though I have the DVD in my house, I've never watched it. And so after 22 years, I'm watching One Love with Kimani Marley, Cherine Anderson, and Idris, who we have to talk about because at the time when Idris recorded this, Idris was still only known as Stringer Bell. I went through his filmography, and the only thing people knew him for at the time of the recording. So the movie came out in 2003, so you already know that it's probably a year or more they were in production and
Hmm.
whatever. So at the time, he's still Stringer Bell. So
Yeah.
we don't really know him as who he is
Idris.
now, Idris, whatever.
Idris.
You know, no worry, Idris no so we me a Jamaican and me say Idris, not
Idris.
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 Idris. Anyway, we have to talk about that. But um tell us what the show is about.
So One Love stars Cherine Anderson and Kimani Marley. So Cherine Anderson plays the daughter of a pastor. Her name is Serena in the movie. She is a devout Pentecostal daughter, of the church
She's a
and
preacher's kid.
a preacher's kid. And she buck upon Casa, which is played by Kimani Marley, at a music competition that they have both entered. And so, as you can presume, it is about them falling in love. And where Idris kind of come into play is he is who Serena is supposed to marry from the church.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing. We watched this on Amazon Prime. So when I first
I watched
searched
it on
for
Coda. It's actually on Coda.
um the artwork was threw me off because the artwork that I'm used to is the artwork with Kimani and Shireen on it. But
Hmm.
this artwork that's on Amazon Prime has Idris on it. And I'm like, what is this a different version?
Hmm.
And I mean it's a smart move to update the artwork to include Idris on it because Idris is a little bit more popular now than when it
Hmm.
first came out, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. But it did twist me up, man. Me I say, I write one this. I had to go look. I said, Idris really in this?
Yes, I didn't know he was in there because I distinctly remember the promo with just Kimani and Shireen, and we know Shireen from Dancehall
That's all
Queen.
Queen.
She was the older daughter in that movie, and Kimani Marley, of course, we know him as a music. They're both music artists, and so I this was my first time really seeing Shireen as an adult in a film, and at the time, I think she was still doing music. I think she still does music. But
But
yes. We
also,
have to talk the things then.
yeah, all right. You want to start first?
Well, what was your initial thoughts of the entire premise of the movie? And now not and I had to kind of put my 2003 brain panic.
No, I like it. I like it because here's the thing. As you're looking at it in 2025 eyes, you think of like, oh wow, solid production, for 2003. Um, you know, I enjoyed it. I mean, you want me get into all of this specifics? I'm sorry, I
No,
wouldn't
no,
say
not yet.
specific
I would say
specifics.
like overall, I thought it was a little sappy
Mm.
and a little slow, but there was something there. Like it was.
I I truly enjoyed it. I mean, if you think about like how else was it going to be, right? As a matter of fact, the whole time I was watching it, I was thinking of Kimani's song with Protege, right?
Mhm.
That was the song that
Mhm.
was playing in my head.
Mhm.
And I mean, it is a classic story, whether it is Romeo and Juliet, whatever. We kind of knew that's what it would be.
Mhm.
And why can't we get a love story? It's supposed to be sappy, and I think going back to what we said in whichever version of Take is the reason why, or the chances are the reason why we're just watching it in 2025 and don't remember anything much about it in 2003 is because it's a love story and it's a little sappy. Whereas we all knew what was happening with Third World Cup, Dancehall Queen, all of these other things.
Mhm.
And I think
Mhm.
it's because it's a love story and Rasta not in love or bad man not in love and them type of thing that maybe it just never circulate the same way. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
You might be right. I think because, but even like love stories, like I feel like it would have made its rounds to at least women. Like I don't know. I think that the writing was good, but it could have been tighter in the sense that like there was a lot of scenes with no talking. And so it kind of like distracted me a bit from this. Like it could have been filled a little bit
With
better.
seeing that with no talking,
It was like a lot of in between moments. Like they weren't really saying much, and when they still weren't really saying much. So for me, it was just okay. I think it was like you said, it everything doesn't have to be, exciting or good, but I enjoyed some aspects of it, but in other aspects of it, I just thought it could have been tighter.
the issues that I had weren't even with that because I didn't mind not having the dialogue because to me it's like there's sometimes things should be unsaid, and I think in those moments I appreciated Kimani's presence a little bit more because there are just moments when the man just look upon the woman so, and that is the communication, that's the dialogue to me. So I'm saying,
Mm,
that's how I interpreted it. Like, being around them silent, intense type, them just a give a look. Um, for the film though, the character that felt a little bit like I felt like, this could have been stronger is actually Shireen's character. I felt like what wasn't on display was Shireen's acting. I think I paid attention to Kimani a little bit more. Um, but I enjoyed it because I'm thinking through 2003. So let me just get right into my notes. Um, I think what this also gave, I appreciated in this because I'm just very nostalgic. It was still looking at Jamaica in 2003 and see how much what makes Jamaica Jamaica was still there in 2003. Um, the radio, I throw out the flyer, Shankle. I'm like,
yes. Yeah, I love the timeliness of it, and
yeah.
the cinematography was really good. I thought it was amazing the shots that they did have, like from the beach to traveling on the road to, like you said, the car traveling and throwing out the flyers, to the studio, like the church, the all the outdoor scenes were just really, really well shot.
The only thing that did bother me, me say, oh, them get to seaside to hilltop so quick.
I
Like,
th- well, that was, I think it was like slow, but then it felt a little choppy. Like
yeah,
how my girl go from
the
she got
seats.
married, she not got married and Tonti.
No,
I could never really understand
no, it's
how
not.
that transition.
Me
So
kind of get that. Me kind of get that. Idris character get that when she go inform and go tell daddy about how rate. No, but it was just like them the Panny seaside. And then me say they reach up in that. And when me say the hills, we not talk hills with sea view, we think hills up in the hills. So
Mhm.
it like those things kind of threw me off a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, oh, fun fact. The father, the man
Mhm.
who played Shireen's father and the woman who in the castle, the fornicators, they were both in Lunatic. And I was like, oh, that's what I also love, seeing like when Jamaican actors, actresses are like carrying over in other film. But
Mhm.
I was like, Idris was good when he didn't have long speaking lines.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
if you just keep it short.
Honestly, his accent wasn't too bad. It
Yeah,
wasn't horrible.
it wasn't horrible, especially if you the speaking lines them did
Yeah.
keep short.
Him shot. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it wasn't bad. And
Yeah.
I'm like curious. I'm like, who did someone approach Idris about this? Or you
That
just
was
hear about
probably
it?
intentional. Like
Like
he had something, but he wasn't gonna get. And they probably didn't have an interpreter or a language person at that time, so I'm just having to pick it up.
well, me not why me not know, but it was
Me not
in.
know neither. Me just assume. Me not know. Me not know. But honestly, he didn't do horrible at all.
No,
I
he
think he did
wasn't
okay.
horrible. He wasn't
I
horrible.
think he did pretty good.
Yeah. Um, I think overall, I was entertained by it. Um, the storyline was it is what it is. Me know say she ain't go and marry the man. We just know this. We know say um he was gonna do something to kind of let her question. It's when like there was nothing in there that was surprising.
Hmm.
Um, what I found interesting was when the scene where Kimani was talking to Muta Baruka about how somebody can fall in love with somebody basically from two separate religions and regret. I thought that was really interesting. Um, you could quickly overlook it because you juxtaposition that against the very militant Bobo, who
Yeah, when he was in the beginning outside, he said, "Well, we in for about 2 hours." Oh, them come in and just going, so
oh, was it predictable in ways? Absolutely. But are you would you be entertained? Also, too. Yeah.
you'll be entertained in my opinion, in a Lifetime movie way,
Yeah. Yeah.
where you can't look away, but you're not super impressed with it all. I think the visuals alone and it being, but I think Cherine, she was supposed to, like, her character was supposed to connect the story. And I think she didn't have enough speaking lines, in my
Mhm.
opinion. She got the shy church girl thing down, but she didn't like bring that level of energy that I think she could have had she had a little bit more. There were She didn't have a whole lot of lines. Like, I just feel like the entire movie was just underwritten. Like, yes, there were a lot of things that were unsaid, but I expect that from Kimani Marley's character more so than Cherine. Like, she didn't really, even in the scenes with her father,
May expect
she
more
wasn't.
pushback.
Yeah, I expected more of a
Mhm.
pushback. Like, even at the dinner table where they were eating, I'm like, he's acting like this girl is 12. She's about to be married to somebody in the church. She got to
It
be at
want
least of a
in
certain age. Like, she just sat back down as if she was 12 years old.
you'd have to
And
read into the line of what was going on with the father, but like yeah, there was that where you could have expanded on that.
yeah,
I think for me, part of the reason why I enjoyed it because I found a lot of comedy in it, and it's not supposed to be a comedic thing, but I did.
yeah.
Um,
You know who was the little brother? When me get older, me get married, me go marry that sexy girl.
if you make my heart jump.
I'm like, what you know about sexy girl? And even in that, like she didn't have anything to say. She just kind of looked at her brother and just rolled her eyes as if she wouldn't have had anything more to say
No.
about that. Because, like, I'm just like, what are you talking about? You don't know nothing about X, Y, and Z. And, they
Yeah.
didn't have any like true response. So it's just kind of like this story that moves along. I think the most exciting part is when my man flip over in the pool with him flip phone and I hold it up, so the DJ, the
Um.
selector,
Yeah. Selector B or selector
mm-hmm.
G. Sorry.
Selector G,
Yeah, because
my man
I'm
Bo,
like B
yeah.
because it's Bello. From Black and Bello.
I was confused about the contract that he had with Selected G and why he would be owed royalties for a song that just got on the radio.
Listen, yeah, think very musically depth. We not did that so.
The song, like,
There has to be an inciting event.
it
That
would have
was
been better if he gotten paid to do something and then the man thief him money, but it was just odd. And like breaking into the guy's house to get back the contract to make him sign it. It was
well the royalties. Because the song obviously was them realized the song a blew up and they wouldn't get any money, so they want their money. But um, for me, what was funny was the original girl in the band, and she always a come for money, and when they see say she a come for money, they take with this.
money share look.
And money she
Always. You have 100 candle still.
oh gosh, that was funny. And I think it was funny that they pretended to get on a minivan
Mm-hmm.
knowing that Idris was going to follow it. And once in peel off and follow it, they take the taxi go the other way. I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was hilarious,
Yeah. Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
Cause him just a drive on a drive, and I just found it entertaining. Yes, predictable, but like you said, in a Lifetime movie kind of way. I just think that it was just that movie. That's just what it was. It was a simple, you know, movie, and they didn't fill it with depth, but the story is a simple story that everybody can connect with. And whether it's a
I
rasta.
think that's a good word. It lacks depth.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a
you know
good way to describe it.
but on everybody can relate to a story like that,
Mm-hmm.
whether you're a flanker girl and somebody from a different part of the country not go there with you, or or you are a rasta and this girl go church, or you go this, like there's always something that two people can't come together or are unlikely to come together because of something else, and you get that story, and that's the gist, and you just build something around it. You build
Yeah.
an event and all sorts of things around it, and then voila. um but overall I enjoyed it.
I think it was okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, even at the end, where it was predictable that you ain't gonna stumble at the end for starting performers. I won. I
I
won.
won.
I hear
One to
bubble.
two.
I hear bubble.
So like those comedic moments in
Yes.
between made it easier to kind of like get through. And then I'm like, all of a sudden, so how you go from not even talking to the father to getting him blessing pan stage to propose to him daughter?
Yeah, and
Oh
then
that go.
my husband say, you know, say you just shoot on the ring. I'm like, me don't know what you did expect.
Me no know. But again, I think use the right word. It just lacked a little depth. I think there
Hmm.
could have been more to the story
Hmm.
if they had just kind of implemented it before the time. I think it was good. I would love to see more love stories coming out of the region.
But this is why I'm sympathetic about it. There's one that we kind of watched, Home Again. I watched it in Toronto, because it didn't show in theaters here. I was in Canada at the time, Toronto at the time, and I watched it. So there's some other projects, but they're not Jamaican based. I think Home Again, them
Okay.
say they're Jamaica, but it really was filmed in Trinidad. The one
Got
with
it.
what's his name? Lyric Bent.
I don't think
And
I've heard of it.
me show you the picture and you say you watch it.
Hmm.
And the one with Ashley from Fresh Prince, Tatiana Ali.
Oh yes, 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 yes. I did. That was actually pretty good. I like that one. Yeah, yeah.
See?
It's a wasn't that one? No, it was that one wasn't really a love story. I thought that was
Yeah, but there was
three
this, it was,
people.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. Ah, I
I
don't
forgot.
remember.
I forgot remember it, but
We
yes,
might
I
have to
remember again.
rewatch
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Add that to the
Home
rewatch
again. That's
list.
what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me tell
yeah,
them.
yeah,
Then
yeah.
get the poor tea them
They
and
got deported back to Jamaica, and it was like their experiences while they're home. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Um
we have to go watch that again too.
yeah. All right. So what is your rating for accent?
Accent, I'd give it a 4.5 just because of Idris.
Mm-hmm. Megita
But
4.
yeah,
Character.
3.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. CM
No, no, no.
rating 3.
My scores them already in ear.
So, but you have to tell the people them.
Oh, sorry. 3 is my character, my storyline. I give it a 2.53. Cuz it's a predictable storyline.
2.53.
2.5/3. But
Oh,
me give
to
it
3. Oh, my things yeah, 2.53. Like, oh, you come up with that number. Okay. I'd give it a 2.
mhm. Music.
We didn't talk a lot about the music, but I thought that the music and the soundtrack were good.
Yeah.
I actually give it a 4.
Mhm. I actually give it a 5
Yeah, I think it was really
because
good. Was
you
it
know,
Nice and Top Crew was in there?
yeah, what was that? Innocent Crew. Look up on
Innocent
the
Crew,
stage.
yeah.
I don't know what the girl group when they do, but there were, them play some Sizzler in there.
Yeah, they had people from the 2000s, like
Yeah,
the
it
music of that
makes.
era. Yeah,
Yeah,
it fit. Yeah,
yeah,
for
and
sure.
it was memorable because as I was watching it, I'm
Yeah,
like, me can't, me still can't remember one song from Get Millie Black. To be honest,
yeah, yeah.
visual authenticity.
5.
Me
I
give
give
it
it
a
a 5.
4 because me still can't get how they go from seaside to up in the mountain so quick. Like, you know why? Because
All right, give me a
them a
4.
walk by the
Maybe I change
sea.
mine to a 4 then. Yeah, yeah,
Them
yeah,
a walk by the seaside like
yeah.
them a going yard, and when they reach a yard, the yard up in the hills. I mean, I say no, sir. At least show cut to the part where you show whatever. Like that, it just threw me off. The whole time it threw me off. Come
Okay,
here,
4 for me.
it threw me off. It get a 3.6 average.
Average. Yeah, I think that's
Hmm.
good.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I would still tell people to watch it. I feel like you'll be entertained. I love to see classic Jamaican actors doing their thing. Carl Bradshaw played the Obeah. Bello from Black and Bello. Like some
Has he played a character like that before? I feel like I've seen him.
Carl Bradshaw plays a lot of different characters. I remember him from Lunatics in play one,
Hmm.
so he's a classic
Yeah.
Jamaican actor as well, but I recommend you watching it. But again, oh, Aegis, tell us, did you want to be in this or somebody reach out to you and say, you know, do this? Me just curious, as to why.
You just should ask you personally, so make sure you respond to us personally. Link with, please and thanks.
Like him just say, yeah, the wire that go on, but me feel like more want do a Jamaican movie.
But I think he was a DJ, so I
Yeah,
think he probably knows the music and is around the culture. And I think the opportunity probably presented itself, and he was just like, yeah, look,
yeah,
when you're an actor, you don't, especially at that stage, you probably don't turn down work.
yeah, yeah. You
So
catch the filmography after that.
yeah,
Now you
yeah,
have the Aegis that everybody know. But
yeah.
I do still think that you should watch and then tell us if what you think. You disagree with me, you agree with me. Um, yeah, I did really walk away saying, wow. Not that I doubted his ability to act, but I walked away saying, and this is not a bad thing, Kimani, so please don't raise me up, but I think I like Kimani a little bit more as an actor. It's
Hmm.
almost balanced, but he does such a, he plays, I don't know, it was just like, I'm not saying in this it was like Oscar winning, but when I'm looking at his filmography, I'm seeing range. And I was just like,
Yeah.
oh wow. Like, you
Like
know what
you
I
wanted
mean?
to see more of
More
him.
of him.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I
In
was
other projects.
part in
Yeah.
other projects. I was like,
Yeah.
wow. And I think we have very few. So if we're looking at Jamaica and its artists, we have very few people who can definitively say, yo, them can cut one reggae dancehall album and go star in our film
Yeah.
simultaneously.
Yeah.
And
I think
that
he
is,
he fits like the Ice-T kind of mold where he could do the acting and the
yeah,
music. Yeah.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
that's what I walked away with, an
Yeah.
appreciation of that. If I'd watched it in 2003, I don't know if I would see that. And
Yeah.
that's what I took away from this. We know Cherine has the acting and the singing, but when you think of dancehall, reggae, male artists,
Yeah.
I really appreciated, that. And I was like, but it's a good thing. It's like Jamie
Mhm.
Foxx, right? You're like, do I
Mhm.
prefer singing Jamie or acting Jamie? And you're like, when
Mhm.
they can do both, you have an embarrassment of riches,
Yeah.
when it comes to talent like that. And that's what I
Yeah.
walked away with. Like, I have to decide if I like Kimani as an artist, a musician, or an actor. And
Well, you
yeah,
don't have to choose. Even
and
have to
and but that's
choose.
the beauty of
Yeah.
it, right? I was
Yeah.
like, I want to see more of Kimani acting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to see. So yeah, that's it for us in this episode of Reels to the Rhythms.
Bye guys.
Bye.